This game is amazing. Alright, let's back it up a little bit. Baldur's Gate 3 is probably one of the best games I've ever played, and I'm not even halfway through it yet. Not even 25% of the way through it yet. This game is such a masterclass of video games. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It is a masterclass of video gaming. So join me today as I talk about Baldur's Gate 3, my character, what I love about it, what I really love about it, and even things I dislike about the game, because there are some things I dislike, and stuff like that. All the footage and everything here is from Act 1, basically early access content, besides, the changes they made in full release. But none of the footage here is beyond Act 1, so if you're worried about that or anything, it's clear. I also kind of left out some key story moments, so most of the story moments are very early in the game. You're not going to see anything later on, so don't worry about that. Alright, let's talk about Baldur's Gate 3, guys. If you love Dungeons and Dragons, this is hands down the game for you. This is the closest you'll ever get to a Dungeons and Dragons tabletop experience in a video game format to this day. Maybe in the future something will come that's better, but for now this is the definitive way to experience Dungeons and Dragons in a video game format. The dedication to the source material is beyond mind-blowing. Everything is loyal to the source material, everything is right on point, everything matches. It is just so damn loyal to the Dungeons and Dragons source material and its perfection. It goes off rule set 5, which is fairly easy for even a newcomer to understand, and I think that was a good choice. And in the game itself, when you're actually playing and going through combat and gameplay with the rule set 5 in play, it feels very good. The things I don't like about Baldur's Gate 3 aren't really with the game itself, but they're inherited from Dungeons and Dragons. For example, I'll give you my biggest gripe with the game: camping. I don't dislike it, but sometimes it feels like it completely halts the pace of the game to where you just have to stop what you're doing and immediately head back to camp, deal with talking to some of your characters and maybe a cutscene here and there, recharge your spells, and repeat just to do it within 10 or 24 minutes. So, now like I said, I don't entirely dislike the camping aspect in Baldur's Gate 3. I really like it in Dungeons and Dragons. It just feels like sometimes in the game, it completely halts the pace that you're going at. So, not always, but sometimes you'll be in a real tense moment, and then you'll have to go back to camp to recharge because you're out of spell slots and stuff like that. Which, yeah, it's true to Dungeons and Dragons, but sometimes it just really feels like it cuts into the pace of the game. Other than that, this game is perfection to me. I'll be fair, one thing I really like about the camps is how the environment of your camp changes depending on where you're at. Outside will be outside, in a cave will be in a cave, etc. It's really cool. Everything feels natural, the world is alive, there's so much for you to do. It is just mind-blowing what Larian Studios done with this game. Wizards of the Coast could have not made a better choice to give this IP to Larian. It is just mind-blowing what they've done with this game. Now look, I'm only 20 hours in. This is by no means a finalized review. This is just me talking about the game, what I like so far, and all that. So I will definitely be making more Baldur's Gate content as I get further in the game, but for now, this is just my impressions. Alright, let's dive into this. For my first playthrough, I went ahead and chose the Dark Urges origin because I was just very curious about it, if I'm being honest. So I'm not going to spoil anything about this character's story. The only thing I'm going to say though is the narrator is basically just intrusive thoughts 24/7. And it gets dark fairly quick, so within your first 2 hours of the playthrough, you'll start catching on to how dark your thoughts as a Dark Urge character gets. It's kind of insane, and as it unravels more and more, it gets even crazier. But that's what I chose for my first playthrough, so my character was kind of pre-made. I went with the Wild Magic Sorcerer, and I'm actually having a really good time with it. The Wild Magic, as a bit of a surprise to the combat, is really cool. I enjoy it. So I'm rocking that. I have my charisma up all the way because I'm one of those guys that love persuasion dialogues and intimidation and stuff like that, at least on my first playthrough. So I always bump up my charisma. This is my party right now. Rocking them, stuff like that. I love Shadowheart, as well as Lizella. They are both like a necessity for my party. I love having them, and I love watching the story between the two develop. Now, I'm not gonna lie, one of my companions already annoyed me to the point where I murdered him, but that's beside the point. The dialogue and RPG elements in this game are by far some of the best I've ever seen in a video game. Like this instance where you have a mental battle with a mind flare is just insane. It really emphasized how much care and passion Larian has for this kind of game and development and stuff like that, because they really put their heart into this and they really upped their game in a lot of aspects from Divinity 2. Another thing about Baldur's Gate 3 is the dice rules. In Dungeons and Dragons, dice is like necessity for the game, and they implement that here in Baldur's Gate, and I think they do very well. Some people will complain and say it slows down the pace of the game, but I actually beg to differ. I think it increases the value of the gameplay tremendously. I think it's really well done. It adds that tabletop RPG element to it. It's just chef's kiss. I think it's awesome that instead of just clicking persuasion and then the back system doing it for you, you'll have like a visual representation of what's going on. So instead of the back system just working and giving you the result, you can see it play out. I think it's really cool. The dice is well implemented in my opinion. The cinematics in this game are absolutely breathtaking. Let me tell you what, they are on movie quality level. There is around 174 hours of cinematics in this game. That is insane, especially at this quality. I'll let one play out so you can just take it in for a minute. Yeah, they're not nothing to scoff at. These are wonderful works of art, honestly. These cinematics are just plain fucking gorgeous. There's no other words to put it. What they've done with their cinematics is beyond any player's expectations for this game. Well done, Larian. Well done. It's so good that by the end of this first cinematic, you feel yourself pulled into the story. You want to know more about this world. You want to know what caused all this, what's going on. You want to know everything. The cinematic does its job 1,000 times over, and I can't get over how good it is. But the cinematic beauty doesn't just stop at the first one. It continues throughout the game. One of the biggest differences from Baldur's Gate 3 compared to the first two is that one, the first two are made by BioWare, while Baldur's Gate 3 is made by Larian Studios, and two, Larian Studios implemented turn-based combat, while BioWare didn't have turn-based combat. That was one of the biggest changes of Baldur's Gate 3 compared to its predecessors, And let me just say, Larian Studios knows how to do turn-based combat better than almost anyone in the modern era. I'm not a fan of turn-based combat, and they brought me into the fold. Divinity 2 and Divinity are fantastic games with turn-based combat. They done proved their point. They don't need to show anything. They know how to do turn-based. That wasn't even a question to the developers when they started this game. They knew they were going to do turn-based from pretty much day one. So yeah, once you're playing it, you don't really think about it. You just play the game. You don't care that it's turn-based. You're just playing. It fits well, and you get used to it. You learn everything, and you play. You don't really care that it's turn-based. I'm not a big fan of it, but this is one of my favorite games ever. Both this and Divinity 2. So the fact that, you know, some players aren't willing to give it a chance because it's turn-based, it's a major loss on them. You're missing out on an amazing experience. Trust me, the turn-based combat, it does not matter. It fits perfect. Something I absolutely love about this game is just how involved you are with the world. Like, things you do impact the world around you and the environment and the people around you as well. Things you do can shift a region, shift an area. Things you do can turn companions against you, have companions hurt each other or kill each other, have them try to kill you. Things you do matter in this world. It feels like everything you do has at least some impact on the world around you in Baldur's Gate 3. It's really immersive. I enjoy it. I enjoy getting lost in the game and just getting so immersed. It's just so rare for me to do that nowadays. My biggest advice for these kind of games is that every time you make a mistake or something, don't reload, just go with the adventure. It's okay to make mistakes, let the story play out. I mean, yeah, if you want to see what the other resolution is real quick, yeah, it's fine. But for the most part, this is just my advice. I wouldn't reset after I made a mistake or failed a persuasion. Let it play out. It's more fun like that, in my opinion. That's really my only advice if you've never really played these kind of games before. Currently, Baldur's Gate's only out on PC. It's going to be coming out on PS5 next month. Xbox, I'm unsure of. I think they're having some issues with it. I don't know. But right now, it's only on PC, and it's completely blowing up on Steam. It hit a peak of 814,000 players, which is just mind-blowing for this type of game. It is literally one of Steam's most top 10 played games of all time right now, and it'll hold that probably for a long time. It is right under Hogwarts Legacy at the time of recording this, and honestly, it deserves it. Larian Studios deserves every praise, every ounce of praise they're getting. They deserve all the love. The game deserves to be put on a pedestal like this. It is a well-founded game, and this genre itself is a well-made genre. It is just so fun to get lost in these kind of worlds. Larian Studios has made it clear they don't plan on adding any microtransactions, battle passes, or anything like that. They fully believe in a complete experience at launch, a fully immersive experience without having to pay for anything. So you know what, A+ for you. That gets an A+ for me. I like that. There's been quite a few times this game made me laugh. I'm not going to spoil really any of that, just in case, so you can laugh as well. But this demon boy knocking me off the rafters had me rolling just for me to turn around and knock him into the spider pit after I reloaded.
Get what you fucking deserve!
The dialogue banter between your companions isn't that bad either.
Why would I bury a weapon? Is it broken?
It's a metaphor.
I do not know your metaphor. But if you need help digging, I will find a shovel.
Something about Lizelle just reminds me of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Even the ones that you kind of dislike, you lighten up to throughout the adventure. And it's nice to see your companions lighten up to each other as well. There's just so much more I can say about this game, but for now, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna deep dive right back into this game and play some more. I will be making more content about this in the future. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you very much for checking this out. I highly recommend this game, even if you're skeptical about turn-based combat, give this game a try. I think you'll love it. Anyone who loves D&D is going to love it. Anyone who loves RPGs is probably going to find something to love about this game. Give it a chance.